First for Lamorinda, number 15, Natalie. Number 13, Lisa. Number 10, Spencer. Number 9, Ruth. Number 2, Eliana. Number 14, Tia. Number 21, Nadia. Number 23, Marissa. Number 12, Ella. Number 30, Sophia Torres. Number 53, Bailey Moses. And now the starting lineup for your San Francisco Nighthawks. Number 1, Raquel Wall. Number 10, Eliana Wall. Number 22, Kelly Gerwin. Number 15, Sydney Runland. Number 26, Fatima Waldo Garcia. Number 18, Jackie Altman. Number 5, Josie Jarvis. Number 13, Risa Yamada. Number 16, Marissa Bassett. Number 29, Samia Adams. Today's officials are Rafi Coleman, Samir Burman, Adrian Burman, and Tina.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Kezar Stadium in the beautiful San Francisco, California. I'm Sara Ach on commentary alongside Kevin Allison on camera, and we welcome you to this WPSL matchup between the San Francisco Nighthawks and Lamorinda United SC. This is the final regular season game, so let's take a look at the standings here. Lamorinda, the away team, visiting here in San Francisco from just across the Bay Bridge in Orinda in the East Bay. Lamorinda sit in 5th place right now. 4 wins, no draws, and 3 losses on the season. Leaves them in with 12 points. The Nighthawks sit just above in the 4th spot. 5 wins, 2 draws, just 1 loss on the season so far. 17 points. The Nighthawks currently sit tied on points with Iron Rose, but Iron Rose sit just above them in the number 3 slot on goal differential. The difference here, Iron Rose already done with their season. They finish with 17 points altogether, and the Nighthawks still a game to play right in front of them right now. So, of course, a draw or a win allows them to leap hop over Iron Rose. However, sitting in 1st and 2nd place respectively are Cal Storm and Davis. Both have concluded their season. Both end with 21 points. Cal Storm took that on goal differential. So the Nighthawks, with 17 points right now, the most they can attain is 20. However, the Nighthawks will be headed for the playoffs. We'll get into that later on. So plenty to play for here. Of course, Lamorinda is out of contention of the playoffs, but it can get dicey between these two teams. Two San Francisco Bay Area-based teams that know each other well, both tried and true in the club scene here. They have youth programs all the way through adult programs. These programs know each other well, whether the players do or not. Some of them do, but no matter what, it's always a matchup to be seen when Lamorinda and the Nighthawks take each other on. Of Of course, both the Nighthawks and Lamorinda with big programs in the Bay Area, big club programs developing talent for women's soccer all across the Bay Area, but different stories here in the WPSL. The Nighthawks, a founding team for the WPSL. They've been in the WPSL since it founded 26 years ago. And Lamorinda, just their 4th year this year with a WPSL team. But they came in and they took the league by storm. This will be the 4th year that these two teams face off in the WPSL. Lamorinda has won every single matchup between these two teams. Last year, Lamorinda won at home at Wilder Field in Norinda, California. They took that 2-1. Some different score lines the couple of years before that. In 2022, Lamorinda took it 4-1. And the year before that, Lamorinda's inaugural season in the WPSL, they won 4-2. We'll get into more of the history here as both teams are set now on the field. Lamorinda in the highlighter yellow and the San Francisco Nighthawks in the red shorts, red socks, and their teal Muni jerseys. SF Muni, of course, is the public transportation system here in San Francisco, and today is SF Muni Appreciation Night. It's been a double header today. This is the second game at Kezar Stadium. The first one, of course, kicked off at 2 p.m. It saw Marin FC come in and play SF City. SF City and the Nighthawks here hosting a doubleheader for Muni Appreciation Night. Both of them wearing these amazing Muni uniforms. And it's not every day you see a kit that pops like this one. A gorgeous uniform. They've got the SF Muni logo on the front. Perfect for Pride Night or Pride Weekend last weekend. If you caught the San Francisco Nighthawks playing last Saturday, taking a big win versus Napa by 1 goal, wearing these beautiful uniforms, and then, of course, sporting them today for SF Muni Appreciation Night. Right from the jump, both teams playing their game well. Nighthawks love to pass it around. Lamorinda like to go on the break, and here they go. 1v1 in the box now, colliding with Raquel Lau, the goalkeeper, as she comes out for the Nighthawks, is Means. That was number 15, Means, for Lamorinda on the break. Natalie Means playing that center forward, number 9, if you will, and already causing problems for the Nighthawks. Now the Nighthawks looking to break themselves in this game, quickly looking like it could become one that opens up. And no surprise, as I mentioned, these two clubs know each other well, and when that happens, no team is going to waste time getting into the game. Whistle blows and we're in it. Lamorinda, it's a little bit more control and possession here in the first 2 minutes. The Nighthawks able to work the ball around, but not quite able to advance it. Lamorinda now pressing forward. Means checking back. She'll lay it off. This is Castillo. Castillo tries that chipped ball. It doesn't work, but leaving it for Means, and now Means with a cheeky chip over the top, trying to find Young. Great idea there from Means, and right from the jump here, we can see that center forward, Natalie Means, plays a big role for this Lamorinda team. She can go on the break, she can check back and control possession with her center midfielders. She'll be one for the Nighthawks to watch. Foul called, and Nighthawks will get a chance to breathe. Now looking to go quickly, it seems, and no longer. That's Sydney Grundland on the ball. She plays that holding center mid position, that number 6, if you will, for the Nighthawks, and they'll opt to just keep it. If you've seen the Nighthawks play before, they like to do this. They do best when they can control the ball, work it around the back, and use that holding center mid, Sydney, to help them out. But losing the ball in the middle of the field, and now on the break, here comes Lamorinda, tracking it down is Agimoto. She'll be able to force it wide. Gerwitz on the step. Cross gets off anyways. Jarvis defending on the back post for the Nighthawks, and she's able to see it out. But corner kick, Lamorinda. So from the start, Lamorinda threatening. Short ball into the middle, difficult one. Coming back is Maggie Altman for the Nighthawks. That's the center forward for the Nighthawks, coming all the way back in, trying to clear that ball out. Dutz, a little 1-2, looking for the cross now, and good slide tackle from Altman. It'll fall out for another corner kick, though, Lamorinda. So Altman, center forward for the Hawks, tracking all the way back, playing defense herself. Not even 5 minutes into the game, and 2 corner kicks for Lamorinda. Similar ball into the middle, rising was Fatima Waldo Garcia for the Nighthawks. She's able to clear it out, but it falls right back. Back into the middle, and Nighthawks just need to get this ball on the ground. This is Young. Young trying to play Jasso out wide. Jasso loses it. Now the Nighthawks trying to come on the break. And this isn't necessarily the Nighthawks game to play the counter, but why not? They'll go for it. Maggie Altman up top, the sole attacker that you see there. A goal-scoring threat herself. 5 goals on the season. That's across the 8 games that the Nighthawks have played, but she has only been in attendance for 6 of them. 5 goals in 6 games. For Maggie Altman, a goal-scoring threat up top for sure for the Nighthawks. So keeping an eye on both the center forwards here on these teams. Gerwitz, center back for the Nighthawks, loses it under pressure. No foul called, looking for a foul and still arguing with the referee is Means. She had a teammate streaking down the line with the ball as she was still arguing with the referee. And again, as I said, 5 minutes in, we can already see the tension on the field. These two clubs know each other well. Trying to get a little 1-2 into the corner, Means laying it off, and Wong will see that out. Wong playing that left back position for the Nighthawks. Next to her, that left center back is Gerwitz. Ogimoto and Gerwitz make up the center back connection here for the Nighthawks, and they have all season. Quite the yin and the yang. Gerwitz, very vocal, very physical. Ogimoto, on the other hand, not as vocal. Leads by example, so adept with her distribution, with the ball at her feet. Wong with a good step in. She loses it. Lamorinda with some good quick play to get out of pressure, and now they'll swing it around. Nighthawks able to find themselves on the ball, but unable to do what Lamorinda just did there, which is to find that outlet, and a good step in there from Jarvis, playing that right back position, but she's beat down the line. Now the Nighthawks just looking to get control. Sydney Grunland on the ball now. 2 defenders on her. You'll see that a lot. Grunland so key for this Nighthawks team on not just defense, but actually specifically on offense, pulling the strings, and it's pretty normal for us to see teams double teaming her, forcing other players to pull the strings for the Nighthawks. Today, Grunland alongside Waldo Garcia and Adam in the middle. Samia Adam in her second game for the Hawks this year. First one was last weekend versus Napa. Played a good game and got the start today. Nighthawks lose it on the line. Trying to go wide is Means, and Jarvis read that all the way. Now Nighthawks finally with an outlet pass, but Grunland, it's honestly not clear where she was trying to go. She had Wong on that simple ball, and she opted for the long one, it seems, to Vasquez in that far wing position, and she ended up hitting neither of them. Nighthawks will be disappointed with that. It looked like they had that outlet pass. They'll take over here on the throw. Nighthawks, I mentioned, 5 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. Coming off of a big win versus Napa, though, last weekend, 3-2. It was a wild one. It looked like it wasn't going to be, though. Nighthawks went into halftime up 2-0, scored immediately as the second half started to go up 3-0. Difficult ball. Jarvis gets there. That's what we call a hospital ball, and a big touch. She can't quite get to it. Now it's up to Sydney Grunland to control it in the middle. She does. And finding the outlet are the Nighthawks. Waldo Garcia, though, doesn't feel the pressure as Marie Krall was tracking back. Nighthawks still able to advance. I mentioned Nighthawks coming off a big win versus Napa. We're up 3-2 at the start of the second half, and Napa able to claw their way back in, 2 goals, and for a moment it looked like they might tie it up, but Nighthawks were able to hold on for their 5th win on the season. Hawks started the season here at Kezar with 1 game, and then they went out on the road for 5 games in a row. Nighthawks beat Battleborn, San Ramon, and then took their first loss of the season in game number 4 versus Iron Rose. Bouncing ball into the middle, and the offside flag goes up. Plenty of Nighthawks fans here disagreeing. Let's take a look at that. Here's the throw-in. Bouncing ball into the middle, and it looks like that was called offside on Maggie Altman, who was helping the ball backwards. Still some dissent from the stands here. You can't really see because none of them have chosen to sit TV side, as we call it. They're all sitting right below the camera. Unfortunate for the viewer, but positive for the bench. They've all chosen to sit behind the Nighthawks bench and support the Hawks from back there, so Nighthawks able to mount an attack of their own, able to keep the ball down in their attacking third here for a couple minutes, relieve some pressure for that back line. Dutes trying to find the feet of Means. A good step in there from the Nighthawks. It'll fall out. Lamorinda will keep it for a throw-in. I mentioned Nighthawks started here at home for 1 game, took that win. They went on the road. They won 2 more, and then they dropped their only loss of the season to Iron Rose, who are actually a brand new expansion club this year out of Roseville, California. They're the only team that the Nighthawks have lost to so far this season, and they are the team that sits just above the Nighthawks in 3rd, even on points. And here comes Means, once again finding herself on a break. Gerwitz steps, Means is able to tap it around, and once again Lau reads it perfectly. Raquel Lau in goal for the Nighthawks this season has been, I don't even know if there are words for it, just phenomenal. If you've tuned into any games, you've seen her come up big time. 1v1 saves, 2v1 saves, countless times in games, and then she's a huge part of why the Nighthawks are set to make the playoffs as a wild card team. And no matter the result today, they are set to go up to Spokane, Washington to play in that playoff. Get into the intricacies of what happened there, but specifically I'd love to call out the Nighthawks are a non-pay-to-play team. So in a country where soccer is increasingly behind a paywall, Nighthawks are working against that. None of these players who you see with Nighthawks jerseys on have paid, and nor for any other of the Nighthawks teams. And so, to go up to Spokane, Washington, it costs a lot of money. And because they are not a pay-to-play team, there's not a ton of money sitting in the bank for these players to use. So the Nighthawks have started a GoFundMe page. You can find the link in the info section on this live stream. We'll also post a QR code at halftime. Any little bit helps. This team has worked so hard to get there, and they'll need to raise the money to actually be able to go. So you can help them out there. Any amount, like I mentioned, is helpful. Always helpful to help. Always great to help a team that's non-pay to play. Of course, non-pay to play is wonderful for players who can't afford to play on club teams that are increasingly more expensive. But of course, when something like this happens, they have to raise the money. That's exactly what the Nighthawks are doing here. Now the Nighthawks looking for the counter. This is Vasquez. She'll opt to hold it. Adam goes wide to Wong. Wong trying to go down line. And it looked like Altman was trying to flick it on, like she thought she had a runner in Vasquez. Nobody was there, and it'll fall to Torres in goal for Lamorinda. So back and forth we go. Bouts of possession now for each team. Tripping, and now here come the Nighthawks. Here's Altman. Altman looking near post. Looking up at the linesman like, did you see that? No call. It'll be a goal kick. Lamorinda opting to play out of the back here. Torres under pressure. Good ball wide. These teams play very similarly. This is a battle for possession today. Neither of these teams like to play on the counter. Lamorinda like to play that long ball up to Means, but they certainly would rather have possession than play that counter. They like to have the option. Adam trying to find Vasquez wide. Vasquez chasing. She gets onto it. Jasso in front of her defending, and Vasquez opts for the shot. It'll roll over, but little by little, the Nighthawks mounting a few more attacks. And they're able to hold Lamorinda off a little more. It's been a while since Lamorinda's had one of their ever threatening attacks, like in the first 5 minutes. It looked like Means was going to put one away. Really on those first two. Good read there from Jarvis. Grunlin back to Jarvis. Beautiful play in the middle there for the Nighthawks. Classic Nighthawks possession. That's exactly what they want to do as a team. Here's one of the center backs, Skirwitz, able to find Vasquez. Vasquez goes for it. She had runners in the box. You see Adam saying, dump that wide to Altman. She had Altman, top goal scorer on this team. In a little underlap, trying to open up to that left side. And if you're wondering if some of this steam or fog that you're seeing coming across the screen is from the supporters section, it is not. This is the San Francisco fog rolling in. The marine layer has set. And it's not quite as cold as it looks. I'll say that. Lamorinda now with a bout of possession of their own. Ziem finds Dutz. Dutz with a runner streaking. That's Ziem, center back, opting for the shot, and hey, she almost had one. Ziem, the center back, making a great run. 1-2 passes all the way up the middle. And we'll have a substitution now. First of the game for Lamorinda. Looks like Sam Rich coming into the game here in place of Zula Root on that left wing position. Sam Rich, number 7. You can see her just at the bottom of your screen here. Here comes Lamorinda mounting an attack once again. Big cross, and Jarvis does a good job to get that out of bounds for a throw-in. Jarvis having to chase a lot of balls down on that back post. And doing well so far. Lamorinda, though, having won a few corner kicks already in this game. It's a good turn there from Dutz. Dutz laying it off to Rich. Rich, Jarvis going 1v1. Rich gets the beat on it. Ogimoto just gets her body in front of it, but it falls back to Lamorinda. That's Means on the shot, and great save, Lau, once again. Full extension. It's not over yet, though. An offside flag goes up. Let's take a look at that. That's just beautiful 1v1 attacking. It falls to Jarvis. Bouncing ball right to the feet of the attacking center forward, and a beautiful save. Raquel Lau, full extension. And that's something, if you're a goalkeeper and you're in full extension punching that ball away, you need to be yelling at your defense if they're not on the other end of that to pick it up, because that offside flag certainly saved the Nighthawks there as it fell once again to Lamorinda. And they were looking to mount another attack on that cross. Nighthawks playing a high line here. Jarvis will get it back from Lau. Miscommunication though. Jarvis thought she had the feet of Yamana. Now once again, Rich looking to go 1v1. That was Sydney Grunland taking her on. Rich goes down, thinks she got a foul call, but nothing there, says the referee. So miscommunication there from the Nighthawks. Leads to another attack from Lamorinda. Gerwitz taking her time and space. Again, looking like a miscommunication. Vasquez thought that ball was for her. It looked like it was for Altman. Lamorinda take over. Lamorinda, I mentioned, they came into this league strong in their first year. 2021 was the first year Lamorinda had a WPSL team. They were crowned the Pac North champions. They went undefeated their first season and won the division. It wasn't until their second season in the league that they actually lost their first game. And even then, they lost just one game. So going into last year, 2023, Lamorinda had played 2 seasons and lost only 1 game across those 2. And that's some calm play there. Okimoto with the ball at her feet at the back. And I mentioned Gerwitz, the physical, loud presence in the center back, and Okimoto doing just that. So good with her feet and distribution. Calmness on the ball under pressure at the center back. That's exactly what you want. But now Wong on the slide tackle on the wing, and now both of them getting into it. Foul called. It'll go the other way. That's the right call there. A clean slide. We can take a look at it. A clean slide from Wong. That's Marie Kral on the wing on the ball. Clean slide, gets the ball, and then Kral on the ground just wraps her legs up with Wong. Excuse me. I guess I'll say it was the wrong call then. Looks like that'll go against Wong. It looked like initially the sideline referee indicated the other way, but instead the foul will go against Wong. Of course, they do have a better vantage point than we do. So Lamorinda will take it. Dangerous position here. Chipped into the box, headed out from the Nighthawks. They'll step. Lamorinda all over it though. Castillo trying to chip and get Marie Kral on that wing. It's read nicely by the Nighthawks. Now Vasquez chipping long. She has Adam. Lamorinda reading that well though. Center backs of Ziem and Mosley for Lamorinda working well together. Neither of them have been caught out on the break. And now, again, here comes Means. Means, she has a couple players in the box. She'll try to lay it off, top of the box. Wide open is Castillo, but a bad touch. Gets it back, looks for the shot, and that's good defense there as Grunland steps to the ball, gets a foot on it, and Lau is able to smother it. She'll give her team some time before she picks it up. And you'll notice here Lamorinda shutting down any short play from Raquel Lau out of the back. The Nighthawks like to play out of the back, and Lamorinda pushing their wingers high, forcing Raquel Lau to do exactly this. But it might work out for the Nighthawks. Altman with a shot just over the bar. How many times have we seen her score one of those? Let's take a look at this. A long ball from Raquel Lau, and Altman just does her work to get on the end of this. Picks it up, takes it inside, looks for that far post shot. Substitution here for Lamorinda. Out comes Young. In comes Johnson into the center midfield. Jarvis and Rich just going 1v1 on this touchline. It's a good matchup to watch. Now Rich again on the ball. Cutting inside. No foul called. It looks like a bit of a body slam there from Adam, but she hit the ground. Tracking back all the way was Yamana. Once again falling to Lamorinda. Nighthawks working hard on defense, tracking back, getting there. But then these 50-50 balls just continue to go Lamorinda's way. Some of that luck, some of that positioning. And the Nighthawks will opt to play out of the back. You can see there once again shutting down that short pass to Gerwitz, forcing Lau to go long. She does all the way to Vasquez. Altman waits for it to come to her. She's in some trouble from it. Luckily it'll fall to Adam, and now she'll be fouled in the middle. Nighthawks opt to go quickly. Wong with a cross into the box. Handled from Torres. This game picking up speed now. Both teams wanting to go quickly. It's a good slide there from Sydney Grunland. Take a look here. If she got the ball or if she got the player. Coming in right now. It might have been a studs up call. Referees will chat it over now. Center ref Rafi Bauman chatting with the fourth official Steve May right now. Both of them having a good view of it. So be on the ground. So it did look like Grunland got all ball first, but the studs were up, and that is my guess as to what the call is. Altman also sliding, finding herself on the ground to no avail. And here comes Lamorinda. Marie Krall. Marie Krall, 3 assists on the season. Trying to work hard on that wing, and she's able to win a corner kick for her team. Mentioned Lamorinda, having come into this league strong, undefeated their first season, just one loss the second one. They didn't win the league in that second year, despite just the one loss. Last year, a good season as well. But this year, finding themselves having fallen off just a little bit. Shot. Well defended there from the Nighthawks. A clear foul, but yellow card issued. It looks like it might have been to Fatima Waldo Garcia for whatever she said to the ref afterwards. We can take a look here. Seems like it. We can get full confirmation on that. She's got some subs warming up on both sides now. Just about 30 minutes in, bouncing ball coming far out of her box. It's Torres, and she's able to handle it. Lamorinda will go from the back. Able to play out quickly, and this is something that the Nighthawks have been unable to do because the Lamorinda is impressing their winger so high. Good win there from Wong on the wing. Wong so steady in that left back position for the Nighthawks all season. That back four of Wong in the left back, Gerwitz, Ogimoto, and then Jarvis on that right back. Starting back four for the Nighthawks all year, with the exception, of course, of a couple games that few players had to miss. Nighthawks know that school, family comes first. Sometimes players do have to miss for those, and of course, this is a summer league. Sometimes players have to start the season and go back to school, so rotating cast, but still This has been the tried and true back four for the Nighthawks all year, as we see some substitutions for the Nighthawks. Good 1-2 play on the line here for Lamorinda. Long ball to the back post. Once again, defending is Jarvis against Rich. Rich able to get into the middle. Means! That's a good block there from the two center backs of the Nighthawks stepping together. A shot from far out, and it'll go over. So once again, the Nighthawks able to fend off the pressure. But it's mounting again from Lamorinda. Mentioned Eliana Wong doing some good work there on that left back position. She's new to the Nighthawks this year. She knew about half the team as soon as she arrived. Played at University of Portland with Hannah McCord. She's going to her senior year. Actually, still plays at Portland. Bay Area native, went to Los Gatos High School. So Maggie Altman chases down a ball. Handled well from Lamorinda, but a short clearance. Adam heads it on to Altman, but Altman once again called offside. Maggie Altman going into her senior year, University of Nebraska. As I mentioned, 5 goals on the season. It was second into the division, and then she had to miss a couple games back-to-back. Still, 5 goals on the year. Not too bad. She had a goal versus FC Davis, 3 goals in one game versus Nevada, 2 goals versus Fresno Freeze. Marie Krall working on this wing, trying to center it. Once again, a corner kick won from Marie Krall. Ella Marie Krall, number 58, working so hard on that right wing for Lamorinda. As I mentioned, she already has 3 assists on the season. She's tied for 3rd most in the division. And you can see why, that work that she's putting in on that right wing. Here's the ball in, rising is Lau. She punches it. Nobody around her. Instead of catching it, she opts to punch it. It'll stay with Lamorinda. Another cross. Wong on the back post. She'll scoop it up, and now she's got time and space. She's got Altman streaking. She might opt to just try to slow it down. She does, but it's read beautifully from Ella Marie Krall, and Lamorinda take over again. Confusion here. Nobody's able to win it. Finally coming up with it is Ruble, the center for Lamorinda. Castillo now, that holding center mid. Number 6, if you will. Number 14 for Lamorinda. We've seen her on the ball. She pulls the strings as well. She does such a good job of sitting in front of those 4 and then getting forward when she needs to. Battles in the middle. It's a physical game. Play on, says the referee. Adam was trying to find Yamana streaking. Given away, and another collision in the center mid, and finally we'll have some stoppage. And this is the kind of game where now we need a trainer on the field. This is the kind of game where maybe you don't want to let these fouls play on, because then it can get a little chippier than it already is, and that just looks like a case of Fatima Walda Garcia not seeing behind her, just 2 players who didn't see each other colliding, but that can always hurt when you're blindsided. So we can take a breath, because this has been back and forth all game, and just over 2/3 into it, and we can say Lamorinda certainly has had the more threatening of opportunities. But 0-0 across the board here. Lamorinda, I mentioned on the year, 4 wins, no draws, 3 losses. Their results are somewhat shocking, I will say. When you look at their score lines, they're sitting in 5th place right now with that record. They're coming off of a game versus Fresno Freeze yesterday. They're finishing the season right now with 3 road games, and they've only been shut out once this year. I think in these 33 minutes, we can absolutely see why a team that threatens to score and certainly has the attackers to do so. They've only been shut out once this year. That was 3-0 versus Davis. Davis, of course, sitting in first place right now in the division. They've got 2 clean sheets of their own on the season across 7 games. And some of their wins really show you that they can score. They've had a couple of massive score lines. 6-0 win versus Battleborn to start the season. That was their opener. It was a 5-4 win versus Napa Valley. 8-0 win versus SF Elite. And 8-2 win versus San Ramon. So generally when they win, they've won pretty big. Both in how many goals they scored and difference in the scoreline. The only exception there, of course, is that game versus Napa Valley. But it seems that Lamorinda and the Nighthawks had similar games versus Napa Valley. The losses, of course, that Lamorinda have suffered this year, losing to Cal Storm and Davis, as I mentioned. Both of those teams sitting in the 1-2 spots in this division. Losing to Iron Rose, who currently sits in the 3rd spot, who also handed the Nighthawks their only loss on the season. I mentioned the Nighthawks non-pay-to-play team that needs some help getting to the playoffs. You can scan this QR code to help donate. Anything helps. A free kick and some substitutions here, and it looks like everybody's okay. But coming off the field is Noe Johnson, the injured player. She'll be looked at by the training staff, but it's always good to see a player walk off on her own accord. Always a good sign. So a weird spot here for a free kick. Dead center. But a good distance out for a shot. They'll go short, looking for Means. Means looking for the foul in the box. She won't get it. A beautiful set play. Clearly set up there for that wall pass, and it executed wonderfully by Lamorinda, and Means just couldn't get that shot off. Walda Garcia will opt to just clear it for the Nighthawks. She says, let's just relieve some of this pressure, get these lines forward, as the Nighthawks found themselves stacked on top of each other. The ball will go out for some much-needed rest there for the Nighthawks. Jarvis, and a good turn there from Grunland. Grunland opts to go back. This is Gerwitz. Gerwitz, one of those players that's so key, and you don't really know it until she's not there. I mentioned the Nighthawks up 3-0 versus Napa Valley, and Napa was able to come back, score 2 goals, and it, for a moment, looked like they might draw. The Nighthawks came out with that win, and it was like night and day. Gerwitz left the game, and suddenly Napa just started coming down the middle, right for where Gerwitz usually plays. Mentioned she's physical, but she's also so talkative, and you need that presence in your center back, organizing everybody. And Gerwitz certainly brings that. Keely Roy entering her first game as a Nighthawk. Roy, this is, as I mentioned, her first game playing in this uniform. Roy, along with Hayashi, playing in their first Nighthawks games today. A big moment to come in. Just under 10 left to play. I say just under 10 because I'm going to assume that there's a few minutes of extra time added on. And here comes Roy. Bit too long of a touch down the line. It'll be cleared out by Mosley. Nighthawks will take the throw. So Roy coming in, making way was Fatima Waldo Garcia. Altman again called offside there. So it will be an offside instead of a goal kick, but very similar locations here. Both teams wanting one before half. Nobody taking their foot off the pedal. This game remains physical. Fighting as Grunland somehow able to keep it. And now once again, a couple of hard tackles in the middle, back to back. No calls on either side. We'll keep going. Gerwitz stepping in, she'll go down, and finally we've got a call going Lamorinda's direction. Here comes Marie Kroll once again. She's got Means. Means a cheeky back heel. Boy, that would have been something. She knew she had Young behind her. And this is what Means brings, that center forward that can kind of do it all. She knows who's around her. Rich turns Jarvis, and she's off and away. Dribbling at Agimoto, she goes left. Agimoto with a beautiful slide, last-ditch effort. Agimoto is able to get something on it. Another corner kick for Lamorinda, the 5th of the half, if we're tallying correctly. Punched out, but not all the way. Trying to clear it is Hayashi. Hayashi now finds herself in a tackle on the ground, cleared out once again. So the Nighthawks finding themselves under extreme pressure now from Lamorinda. Nighthawks have not found themselves in a bout of possession now for a while. Grunland finding some players wide, but again, losing it on the wing. And here comes Lamorinda, and quite frankly, Ziem, number 13, center back there, who took that shot, just bailed out the Nighthawks. Long ball once again. Lamorinda immediately take over, and that's not what you want if you're the Nighthawks. After a long bout of not having possession, you finally get the ball back on a goal kick. You give it immediately back to Lamorinda, and that's a good step in, but won by Lamorinda. Unlucky there for Lamorinda. Lucky for the Nighthawks, they'll go all the way backwards. Nighthawks just seemingly disconnected in their lines and in their center mid, and Lamorinda having their way with them in the middle of the field right now. Maggie Altman, the only player available, and now a late flag goes up. Lamorinda had essentially stopped running, hoping for that flag to go up, and they get the call. Altman, 3rd or 4th offside on the day. Unfortunately, we don't have VAR to really check that. Right up the middle once again for Lamorinda, and as I said, disconnected in the middle of the field are the Nighthawks. Roy Looking for Gerwitz. Gerwitz trying to find Altman. Ziem just gets to it faster. Now Jarvis with a good step in, trying to find somebody in the middle. And once again, Nighthawks, it's like they see who they have, but the passes are just a little disconnected, and they're giving it away themselves on the pass. Comes Lamorinda once again. Lau all over it, fakes a throw, and now she'll just settle down. I mentioned Liz Dwornik, number 23. She's playing in that right wing position here. Closest to the camera, stepping in on the ball right there is Dwornik. She rins it. Altman looking for a long shot, and she leaned back just too much. It'll go well over. Dwornik, who just won that ball, playing in that right wing position. Not a position she's necessarily used to. She's playing it in a tucked in way that almost looks like the Nighthawks have a diamond in that center midfield sometimes. Dwornik used to playing in that center midfield position, so that should tell you why she's playing more of a tucked in type wing role. Not her natural position. Dwornik, one of the captains on this team, of the oldest players on the team, in her 10th year, along with Emily Koo. She's been around the Nighthawks for a long time. She's a great leader, a kind leader. She went to Bucknell University, played her soccer there. Usually playing that attacking center midfield position. And she's been injured for a couple weeks now. This is her first game back. She had to miss a few games. Specifically, actually, the last 3 games, which in a 9-game season is quite a few. So she's finding herself now back in form, just trying to get back into form, I suppose, after a couple-week injury. It can take a while. But happy to hear that that injury is not too serious, and she's finding herself back on the field. We've hit 45 minutes. Extra time, of course, being added on. A couple knocks picked up here and there. Some time needed to be added. Very physical game. Nighthawks hoping to do something about it before that clock ticks. And here comes Altman, but she won't get to it. Torres picks it up. That's Roy. The long touch when she had nobody in front of her. There was seemingly no need for that. She could have taken that touch herself and played it off, and instead Lamorinda take over. Sometimes this can happen. You've got a player coming back from injury in Dwornik. You've got Keely Roy and Hayashi in their first game with the team, both right now on the field, both playing in that center of the field. And sometimes it can just get disconnected, and it only takes a couple players who aren't really used to playing in that system or used to playing with other people on the field. Nighthawks have been able to fend off Lamorinda, but it does certainly feel like it's only a matter of time before something hits the back of the net for Lamorinda, unless the Nighthawks can change something here, mount some attacks of their own, figure out how to knock down some of these Lamorinda attacks down that right wing. Altman working hard in that center forward position for the Nighthawks. Long ball down the line. Jarvis will see it out. Mentioned Josie Jarvis, English international. Was at Northeastern State University going into her senior year. And here comes Roy. Roy opts to go herself, and she gets the back net. Keely Roy. It was an awkward angle, but she caught Torres out of position. Torres cheating high and cheating right. And Roy just goes back post It hits that side net. And against the run of play, the Nighthawks go up 1-0 right before halftime. And that's it. The final play before half is a goal from Keely Roy in her Nighthawks debut. A dagger for Lamorinda, who were threatening the whole half, and suddenly find themselves going into halftime down 1-0, but a full 45 minutes left to play. And these two teams going at it like two teams that know each other very well. Stick with us. We will be back shortly. And of course, as I mentioned, the Nighthawks headed to the playoffs, but they're a non-pay-to-play team, and they need some help. Because these players do not pay, there is no pool of funds for them to reach into to get up to Spokane, Washington. They've had a great season. They've made the playoffs, and they need a little help to get there. We're going to throw a QR code up on the screen here for their GoFundMe page. Any little bit helps, and we'll be back with you for the second half shortly. Hello, everybody, and welcome back for the start of the second half. Nighthawks find themselves up 1-0. Final play of the first half, a goal from Keely Roy, who caught Torres out of position. Torres was cheating forward, and Roy chipped the keeper, and suddenly, after a half where Lamorinda had, it seemed like, full control of this game, Nighthawks tuck one away. Now we head into the final 45. Nighthawks up 1-0, and we can only assume that this is about to be an onslaught of an attack from Lamorinda. Lamorinda officially out of the playoffs, and now find themselves down 1-0 in a game where they were attacking for the majority of that first 45. Nothing to lose, if you will, in this final 45 for Lamorinda, so why not go for it? The Nighthawks, in the live table as it stands, if this score holds up, will end up with 6 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss, puts them at 20 points. That's 1 point below Cal Storm and Davis, who finished the season with 21 points. The Nighthawks have officially made the WPSL playoffs. They will be headed to Spokane, Washington, and I will tell you how that is possible, as they came in third, they came in not in first in the division. We don't know where they came in yet. Of course, in the live table, they sit in third. A draw would put them at third. However, a loss would leave them finishing in 4th place. Lamorinda immediately taking control here. And you'd imagine if you're Lamorinda, you can see in the dying seconds of that first half, what you want to do is come in and score in the opening moments of this second half. Come in quickly. So we'll see what Lamorinda do. So the playoffs for the Western region this year being held up in Spokane, Washington. A foul call, Lamorinda will take over there. So the West Division Northwest, West Desert, and West Pac South. Or excuse me, SoCal, West Pac South, and Northwest. So essentially Southern California, Northern California, and the Pacific Northwest. Confusing division names, and we'll just call it SoCal, NorCal, and the Pacific Northwest, because that's what the divisions indicate. We should see 2 teams from each division going. However, Spokane SC Shadow has already secured their spot, having won the Pacific Northwest division. The team that came in second could not go. This is a summer league, and so with a lot of players going back to college, sometimes enough players go back to college before the playoffs happen, and you are left without enough players to field a team in the playoffs. And so because of that, there will only be 1 representative from the Pacific Northwest Division. And so that wild card spot falls to the Nighthawks. Another battle, and off to the races now is Means. Means centers it. Jarvis able to clear with the outside of her right foot. Means has just been so key for Lamorinda already this game. She can do everything. She finds herself sprinting onto the long balls on that counter to go 1v1. She comes back from that center forward position to collect the ball. She can distribute. She's got eyes in the back of her head, or as you say in soccer, she's got her head on a swivel always. She's always creating for others as well as for herself, and there's a reason why this Lamorinda attack centers around her. The strong number 9 position for Lamorinda. And here is another cross into the middle. Gerwitz heading it out. Doesn't fall too far, though. Means all over it, trying to lay it off to the top of the box once again. And finally, Gerwitz is able to get that out of the box, but not for long. Bouncing ball, and this is the type of ball that the Nighthawks weren't able to control and keep for themselves in that first half. Let's see if they can do so here. Keely Roy, the goal scorer, on the ball. Dumps it off to Hayashi. Both Hayashi and Roy, as I mentioned, in their first games with the Nighthawks right now. Both of them playing in that center mid position alongside Sydney Grunland. Grunland holding down in that number 6 position, or defensive center mid. And the other two in Roy and Hayashi playing the offensive center mid position, and Altman asking for a foul. Doesn't get it. It looked like she was trying to tap that ball around her defender, the old tap and run around the other direction. She made it look like there was a bit of a hip check, and now Gerwitz will see that into the hands of Raquel Lau in goal for the Nighthawks. So I mentioned the Nighthawks, the wildcard team, headed up to Spokane. Good ball, but Altman just falls. Or excuse me, Roy falls. Now on the ball is Ziem. Ziem, good long ball to that left side. Here comes Lamorinda, 3v3, and Lau with some great positioning there on that front post, reads it all the way. Nighthawks going up to Spokane. They're not sure who they will play. It could be Spokane SC Shadow. It could be one of the two teams that are also coming from this division in FC Davis and Cal Storm. Both of those teams the Nighthawks drew with this year. So anything can really happen up in Spokane. That, of course, will be the regional semifinals. Regional playoffs, if you will. That'll be July 13 and 14. If the Nighthawks win the first game on the 13th, they'll play on the 14th. Now Lamorinda trying to clear it out. Nighthawks not letting them out, and too long of a touch there for Hayashi. It falls, though, for the Nighthawks. Here's Wong, just a little too much on it, or not enough on it. Chasing back is Hayashi. She can't get there. Here comes Rich. Rich has been just lethal down the wing. She stays on this wing. She was playing the left wing position in the first half, so we saw her along this line. That's close to us on the camera here. Now she's over on this right wing position for Lamorinda, staying along this line. Bouncing ball, nobody trying to settle it down. Finally, booted out by Grunland. Vasquez able to find herself on it, but nobody forward for her. She does a good job of holding it up. This is Koo. Grunland. Wong does a great job always of getting wide and long. Altman now again motioning to the referee that she was fouled. Nothing again from the ref. Gerwitz with a good step in, able to win that from Means. And this is a battle now. Mentioned the playoffs. Winner on the July 13th plays on July 14th, and if you win there, you head all the way over to Oklahoma State University in Stillwater, Oklahoma for the national semifinals, which will be on July 19th, the final on July 21st. Reigning WPSL champions, Charlotte Eagles, will be there, looking to defend their title. Altman now jogging over. It looks like she's going to have a word with head coach Oscar Lorenston, head coach here for the Nighthawks. Or excuse me, that is Roy, Keely Roy, goal scorer, who looks eerily similar to Altman on the field, I have to say. That blonde, low ponytail. Emily Koo in the game right now at the center forward position, at that number 9 attacking position instead of Maggie Altman. Lamorinda with some good short quick play in the middle, finding an opening. Long shot from far out, and Raquel Lau sees that out. Emily Koo, I mentioned, at that center forward position in place of Mag Yeoman right now. She scored last weekend versus Napa. Came on as a sub and scored, and now foul called. Luckily so, because Means was off to the races with an open net in front of her. Unluckily so for your Lamorinda. And let's take a quick look at that. Raquel Lau, looking to go quickly. Clear foul in the back there, but a dangerous ball from the back. That was Ogimoto looking to play that forward. Dangerous ball out of the back there. Lamorinda certainly could have punished the Nighthawks for that. Just under the foot of Rich. It'll go back the other way. For those of you just tuning in, we welcome you. On commentary, I'm Sara Ach and Kevin Allison on camera. This broadcast of the WPSL Westpac North Division is brought to you by Kevin Allison. Of course, if you're watching on DNF_ADV Sports on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. You can also follow him on Instagram at DNF_ADV. Same thing, just without the sports afterwards. Also take a moment here to mention Elks Club. They're the biggest suppliers of scholastic scholarships in the United States and huge supporters of the San Francisco Nighthawks. Have to take a moment, a massive shout out to them. We love that they're in attendance here as well. I mentioned that the Nighthawks are non-pay to play, and that's usually, unfortunately, not possible without scholarship opportunities, without money coming from somewhere. And Nighthawks can't believe what they're seeing, how that wasn't called a foul, but play on once again, says center referee Rafi Bauman. Bauman's issued one yellow card today. It was clearly for something that Fatima Waldo Garcia of the Nighthawks said to him. As the foul was called against a Lamorinda player, but Fatima Waldo Garcia was the one who got the yellow card after saying something. And fortunately or unfortunately, we're not sure what it was said. So this half starting about how we expected, 11 minutes in, and Lamorinda threatening the Nighthawks. Nighthawks having a hard time getting this ball out of their own defensive third. Koo trying to play Sydney Grunland underneath, and it's read wonderfully there from Young in the middle of Lamorinda, but now off to the races. And a beautiful ball from Vasquez to Roy. Roy getting her head up, looking to see who she has. She'll go 1v1, and why not? She's got one goal on the day. Tries to go near post that time. And this generally has been the flow of the game. Nighthawks with a couple opportunities here and there, but generally speaking, Lamorinda threatening the most. And when it comes to dangerous opportunities in front of the net, Lamorinda certainly creating the most. No call again, down the line. Rich. Gerwitz chasing. Gets her foot on it just enough, and somehow Lau comes up with that ball. Raquel Lau. She'll pause. There's a player down. Rich got hit by Gerwitz as Gerwitz stuck her foot out to try to stop that cross. Now the ref's going to have a word. He'll take the ballot ball from Raquel Lau as we had a stoppage because of an injured player. Now we've got some substitutions here. Oh, excuse me, it looks like actually Sydney Grunland is bleeding from the nose, so she's going to come out. And that's going to be the injured player stoppage, not Rich of Lamorinda, who is down on the line. So coming out is Grunland. She's got some blood on her face. They'll take care of that on the sideline. Allie Hall now entering the game, number 25. She'll see her first action of the day. Hall's played in one game so far for the Nighthawks, and if you recognize her name, it's probably because you've been watching some U.S. women's national team beach soccer. Allie Hall playing for the beach soccer U.S. women's national team. She's the captain of that squad, actually. Plays center mid here for the Nighthawks. A dangerous hard ball back from Gerwitz to Lau, and that's only something you do if you really trust your goalkeeper there. She clearly does, and some beautiful 1-2 play in the middle from the Nighthawks. Unable to get that final pass wide. They're able to keep possession here. Hall will go backwards. Jarvis, the English international, back to Lau, and Lau doesn't want to switch the field. Instead, she ends up giving it away, and now suddenly, Lamorinda in a good position, and Nighthawks need to get some numbers forward now. Vasquez with a dangerous ball back, pretty much back into pressure. Hall doing a good job of handling that. Trying to find Vasquez long again. And again, somehow Vasquez getting a foot on it, but she's got nobody in front of her. She just tries to go long for it. Nighthawks playing a game they're not used to, and that is a game of the counterattack. Instead of holding that up, Vasquez opts to just go forward. Jasso of Lamorinda gets stuck in. Mosley, center back, cleans it up for her. And now Castillo on the ball here. Some tricky play. And some risky play from defensive center mid Castillo. And now loose ball in the middle, picked up from Young. And both of these teams now looking very similar in the fact that they've all got an open player, but the balls are just missing a little bit. And that's opening up this field because it's leading to balls that not quite 50-50 balls, but it certainly is a ball that you can jump on because it's not to the feet of the player it was supposed to be to. I think another word for that, most people will just call that some sloppy play. After a long season for both of these teams, I mean, I mentioned Lamorinda had a game yesterday. Nighthawks had 7 days where they played 3 games in the course of that week. Not a lot of rest there. Luckily, they've had a full week off in between their last game and this game. Now, streaking down the line here, Marie Krull, who's, again, Lamorinda not having their wingers switch sides. You saw Marie Krull on that right wing position for Lamorinda in the first half. So on that far touchline, and now she remains on that far touchline in the left wing position. Her and Rich just not switching sides, remaining on the touchline that they were on. Or you could say they did switch sides, as Rich went from a left wing to a right wing and vice versa. However you want to think about it. Nonetheless, corner number 1 of the half for Lamorinda. Bouncing ball, Gerwitz somehow gets in front of it, and a long shot that'll go over, and that's exactly why they tell you to stay in your position on a corner kick if you are set up by the post. Kelly Gerwitz holding it down in that center back alongside Agimoto for the Nighthawks. And that's a veteran move there from Kelly Gerwitz. Vasquez loses it. Hayashi able to pick it up. Roy now. 2 on her. Able to get a foot on it, but Ziem, center back. Looking middle, and Agimoto does a good job getting in front of that cross, but another corner 1. Second of the half. 7th of the game for Lamorinda. That itself can tell you just how many times Lamorinda's been coming down that wing and threatening. Headed down and out. And Dukes, the long shot over the top, bails out. The Nighthawks, she had an open net there. Nobody, not an open net, but an open shot. Nobody was stepping to her. Even had the time maybe to take a touch. Opts to go inside of the foot and puts it over the top. And the left back will be disappointed in that one. Already 20 minutes into this half. Time's flying by, certainly for Lamorinda. So they've been threatening essentially for the past 20 minutes, looking to find that equalizer. And you can assume time is moving very slowly for the Nighthawks out there, trying to hold on to that 1-0 lead and trying to build on it as well. And the Nighthawks currently in the live table still sit in third place. Just 1 point below Calstorm and Davis. A beautiful ball. Roy had Vasquez middle. You wonder if she just should have taken a touch and gone herself. She opted for the unselfish route, and now here come Lamorinda. Zim, center back for Lamorinda, finding herself forward so many times in this game, and she wants to go herself. Center back versus center back. Gerwitz was able to shut down that angle just enough. Zim hit the outside of the post there. It'll be a goal kick. So keep an eye on Zim, number 13. It looks like, by all accounts, she's been actually pushed up in the formation. Zim starting at the center back position, starting this half as well at that center back position, and now seems that she's been pushed forward, most likely because she can make runs just like that one. And now cleaning up the mess here is Castillo, defensive center mid for Lamorinda, was called out by a side ref. That's Adrian Herman on the line. Goal scorer number 18, Maggie Altman, re-entering the game for the Nighthawks. And it looks like she's entering into that right wing position, at least for now. Here comes Rich. Rich has Zim wide. Zim looking for the shot and a block. Raquel Lau. If you want a masterclass in 1v1 goalkeeping, just watch Raquel Lau's highlight reel from this season. Once again, uncontested shot. Lau's able to get her hands on it. That positioning of Raquel Lau has just been supreme. Another corner kick, though. Nighthawks aren't out of the woods. Here it comes into the middle, bouncing. Nobody's picking it up. Finally cleared out. Lamorinda ball. Going quickly. Hedespeth, number 11. Sitting in that right back position now for Lamorinda. New onto the field. We didn't see her in that first half. Long ball, Emily Koo hitting the back as she goes to chest the ball. It'll be called a foul, and Vasquez will go quickly back to Gerwitz. Jarvis, English international, looks forward. She had Altman, but they couldn't connect, and now Means. She's looking to find Zim. Some disconnect there, but nothing lost. Lamorinda will win that throw-in. It looks like the Nighthawks preparing for another substitution here and hitting the back from Jarvis. And the Nighthawks will back up. Lamorinda looks like they want to go quickly. Altman gets her body in front of it. Here's a service and miss hit. Almost a squibbed ball. It definitely was not supposed to go to Castillo in the middle. Lamorinda has to pick it up and start again. Hegespeth now. Time in the middle, looking to beat her defender. Koo. Koo had Roy, and Roy with a dangerous ball back to Koo. They lost it and then fouled in the middle, and this game has been a physical one. Surprising, really, that we've only seen one yellow card, but props to referees who are able to keep those cards in their pockets. Lots of referees very card happy nowadays. Wong going long. Didn't mean for that to rhyme. And quite honestly, it seemed like that was the wrong ball. Altman was making a run forward, and Wong played that as if Altman was all the way out on the line. Gerwitz now just getting a clear out. Dutz, the left back, able to head that out, and the Nighthawks have been able to quell another bout of Lamorinda possession and attack, and now have a small bout of possession of their own. Chelsea Fang, number 19, steps onto the field. Fang now in that left wing position. She comes on for Emily Koo. Chelsea Fang actually spent some time in goal this year. She is, in fact, a field player, but the Nighthawks. Almost a dangerous play there. Gerwitz gives it away. Now here comes Lamorinda on the counterattack. Means. Rich. She gets on it. Gets that cross off, but it's a chip ball and it'll be a goal kick. Mentioned Chelsea Fang. Spent some time in goal. The Nighthawks were on their way up to Nevada. And Raquel Lau had some schoolwork to attend to. Backup goalkeeper Aubrey McLean had a high school all-star game of her own because she's still in high school. So the Nighthawks went to Nevada without a goalkeeper. Chelsea Fang stepped in. She has, I'll call it limited goalkeeping experience. She has the same amount of goalkeeping experience as anybody who played rec soccer did when everybody had to rotate into goal. So some goalkeeping experience. And good on her for stepping in. She made some big saves there for the Nighthawks as they took a win. They did allow 3 goals, but like I said, she made some big saves. And the Nighthawks were able to help her out with 8 goals on offense. So they took that win 8-3. And that's certainly helpful if you find yourself in goal for the first time in a WPSL match for your team to put 8 away on the other end. Here is Fang on the ball. Means battling. Bit of a shove into the back of Fang, and so it'll go for the Nighthawks. Under 20 to play, approaching 15 really left. We're about 2/3 of the way through this half. Nighthawks have been able to fend off every bout of possession so far from Lamorinda. And right now, they want some insurance on it. Lost from Hayashi. Lamorinda now taking their time. No need to hurry. Like I said, still over 15 minutes to play. Rich on the ground. Wong walking away like there was no need for her to be on the ground in the first place. It's been a good battle there. First it was Rich versus Jarvis. Now Rich versus Wong. That's a good step in. Eliana Wong. All ball right there from Wong. It's a hard play, but fair nonetheless, and that's a beautiful touch into the back post, and Lau got a hand on it, or so it seemed. She did not. What a play there. That was Zim, the former center back for Lamorinda, who's been pushed forward, and we're seeing exactly why she's been pushed forward. Take a look at that. That's some tricky footwork here. Zim, touch right around Gerwitz. It's a good look there from Zim. Means, who has been playing that center forward for Lamorinda, has dropped back into that center mid position, and Zim has been pushed into that center forward position. Rich now on the ball, going 1v1 versus Wong. It's a fun matchup to see. Allie Hall came over to help double team, but nonetheless, giving up another corner kick, the 4th of the half, 9th on the game for Lamorinda. That's quite a few, and they'll go quickly. Castillo, the long ball into the back. Lau just has to punch it out. Hall able to tap it forward, and Vasquez somehow able to find that wide. And now here is Maggie Altman. 1v3. Castillo on it now, falling back to the Nighthawks. Hayashi, Altman, no calls. The stands certainly have something to say about that. They're looking for a foul somewhere. Now Rich, beautiful turn on Wong, and suddenly here comes Lamorinda the other way. Zim falling in the middle of the field. I don't know if she wanted a call because she fell, or if she thought that Wong hit her off the ball, or if Wong did hit her off the ball. It's honestly hard to see from here exactly what happened. And a yellow card now to Zim. So 2 yellow cards in this game, both of them just for arguing with the referee. One to Fatima Waldo Garcia of the Nighthawks in the first half, and now one to Zim here in this second half. Elise Zim wreaking havoc. It's just been so hard to defend for the Nighthawks. Will she be the target here? Ball into the middle. Rising is Zim. She was, but over the top. The clock continues to tick. I mentioned Lamorinda has won every single matchup between these two teams in the WPSL. It's been only 3 of them. This is the 4th. But the Nighthawks finding themselves in the lead right now. Just under 15 minutes left to play, plus whatever stoppage time is included. And that's not what you want to do if you're the Nighthawks defending a 1-0 lead, is give the ball away right off of a goal kick. Castillo finds Ruble. Ruble and Castillo linking up well in the center mid for Lamorinda. Ruble now able to find that outlet to her center back and around the horn. We'll have a substitution here. Coming off is Rich. She's been working hard on that right wing. Coming back onto the field is Young, number 21. And it looks like what will happen is Nadia Young will step into that center mid position. And number 15, Natalie Means, who was in that center forward, dropped into that center mid. Now she's going to step into that right wing position where Rich just came off from. Hall with a good turn on the line. The Nighthawks won't be in any hurry here to take this throw in. Wong into Keely Roy. Keely Roy has had such an incredible debut for the Nighthawks, her first game of the season. And it looked like perhaps for a moment advantage was called, and instead we're going to have a foul. a drop ball randomly in the middle of the field. Certainly odd, not per the rules of soccer. If there's advantage, there's advantage, and if there's not, it's stoppage of play, not a drop ball. So where that one came from, we'll never know. Perhaps if you have an idea, you could drop it in the comments of this live stream. Nonetheless, just about 10 minutes to play here. The clock continues to tick, and Lamorinda now throwing all of their attackers forward. This has been a physical game, to say the least. Gerwitz, Hall, looking for some outlet. She thought she had it. It wasn't strong enough, and it was a dangerous ball, and now that's the right back, Hedespeth, finding her way all the way through the center of the Nighthawks to take that shot. Raquel Lau, once again, locked down in goal for the Nighthawks. It's a dangerous ball there from Hall. Lamorinda able to control again. Keely Roy working hard to play defense in that forward position, in that center forward, number 9. Off of Chelsea Fang. Hedespeth now to take the throw for Lamorinda. Hedespeth double teamed. It falls into Lamorinda. Here's Young. Young battling with Hayashi, and it's called the other way on Young. Nighthawks and Hall looked like they were going to go quickly for no reason, though. When you're up 1-0 with 10 minutes left, there's no reason for you to go quickly in your own defensive third. So good decision made by Ali Hall to step off the ball. Wong. Fang challenging. Falls to Altman. Hayashi able to keep it. Wong decides to go all the way back. She'll reset with Lau. Look at this pressure coming here from Ziem. And a beautiful turn on the wing there from Jarvis. Jarvis starting this whole thing with that gorgeous turn, and now Roy with an opportunity and a ball behind Altman. It looked like she was trying to find Altman running into that middle. She was diving into the center, and Roy was trying to find the head of Altman, but it landed just behind her, and now it's suddenly, here come Lamorinda, and too long of a touch there, but Lamorinda not letting the Nighthawks once again play out, putting pressure on the center backs and the outside backs, and it was the one-on-one skill of Jarvis to turn her defender that allowed the Nighthawks out of that pressure. Substitutions here to end the game, coming off 2 players who were in that center midfield, Hayashi and Ali Hall coming off, and Sydney Grunland coming back on, along with Fatima Waldo Garcia. 2 of them playing most of the first half together in that center midfield. A good step there from Keely Roy. She'll be called for the foul, though. A little bit too late. It looks like Keely Roy has now slid back into that center mid. So center midfielders for the Nighthawks are Grunland, Fatima Waldo Garcia, and Roy. And a gorgeous ball out to Ziem. Ziem centering it. She's offside anyway. Kella will take her time here, put the ball on the ground, and put this one up in the air for her teammates as the clock slowly ticks towards 85. 7 minutes plus whatever stoppage time is added on remaining. A good win there in the middle. That was Altman. Fang! Fang! Just over the top. Perhaps it's the height of Torres, or perhaps it's the positioning of her in goal, but multiple times Nighthawks players have tried to chip the keeper instead of just going for the flat-out shot. And we're going to have another substitution here. Looks like number 29, Samia Adam, coming onto the field. She will take the place of the sole goal scorer on the day, Keely Roy. Beautiful Nighthawks debut on the season, as I mentioned, for goal scorer Keely Roy. And frankly, that goal and where it came in the game, the last play before that whistle blew to go to halftime, it's really changed the game, because if you came back in here with a 0-0 draw in the start of the second half, both teams would have come out completely differently, and perhaps the confidence levels of both teams completely different. It deflated Lamorinda, who arguably were the better side in the first half, or at least the side with the most chances. And it put some wind in the sails of the Nighthawks. The Nighthawks have had more chances this half than in the first half, and Lamorinda have been kept to fewer. Challenge in the middle from Fang, and it goes over. Lamorinda will take over with just under 5 minutes left to play. Another final reminder that the Nighthawks are headed to Spokane. They need some help. Take a look at that again. It's always hard when there's about 4 players challenging for one singular ball in the middle there. Plenty of heads, elbows, shoulders that can all collide. Good to see everybody's okay. We've got a whistle blown. And it seems that perhaps it's just that Lamorinda went before center referee Rafi Bauman actually blew the whistle for them to restart play. So we're just going to redo that. And now they'll play out of the back. Mosley on the ball for Lamorinda. She'll go long. Trying to flick it over is Mean. She had Marie Crawl on that right wing. And that's the combination we saw in the first half. Means in the middle, Marie Crawl on that right wing, and the deadly combination of the two of them. Means triple teamed. Vasquez working hard on the wing. It's called for the Nighthawks. Fang looking to turn. Foul called on Mosley. So Lamorinda will retreat, and now Nighthawks going quickly. They'll go to the corner. Under 3 minutes to play. Nighthawks just trying to end this game and ice it. Nighthawks throw. Waldo Garcia just one touching that, and now Lamorinda trying to keep that in bounds. It'll be out, so Nighthawks throw again. Lamorinda's going to have to shift everybody over and try to stop the Nighthawks from going to the corner again, and now Nighthawks will just saunter and take their time as the clock ticks down to 2 minutes remaining. Wong with the throw. Looking corner. She has Fang. Fang able to keep it there. That'll be a Nighthawks throw once again. Lamorinda wasting their own time there by picking that ball up and taking that throw in instead of just handing it to the Nighthawks like Mosley is doing there. Castillo just took that throw in. Lamorinda having a hard time getting out of this corner. And finally, Lamorinda able to win a throw-in. Unable to get out of this corner, though. No high kick called there. It could have been a high boot. This is Altman. 2 players on, falls on top of it, and now it'll go the other way. Altman arguing that she was pushed on top of the ball, but nonetheless, she fell on top of it. It looked like she made a bit of a cage around it. It is Lamorinda ball. Under a minute to play on the clock, plus whatever stoppage time. There were about 5 in the first half. Could be similar amounts here at the end of the game as well. Lamorinda with the final substitution here, and Samia Adam. The strong header in the middle there for the Nighthawks, causing some trouble, but Lamorinda, for the past 3 minutes, just having a hard time getting out of this corner of the field. Back to the corner it goes, won by Castillo, but it'll be a throw-in once again. As Eliana Wong trots up. Samia Adam can't get her foot on it, but Lamorinda does. It'll go out once again. We'll do it all over again as the clock hits 90. No indication, of course, there won't be an indication from the 4th referee. It's not like in Euros or the World Cup or Copa America. We won't know. This is purely up to the referees. They won't have any indication for us. And here come Lamorinda looking to Meg. Waldo Garcia was Means. She's unable to make it happen, and now Lamorinda back in this corner where they haven't been able to get out of. Castillo. Means once again loses it on the wing. Nighthawks doing a good job of keeping Lamorinda on this side. Now finally they're able to find that outlet to the other side. And could this be the final attack for Lamorinda? Need to keep that in bounds. Ruble trying to play 1-2 down the line. That's just kicked out there from Mogimoto. Ruble trying to play with Zim. He's now in that left wing position. Scary front line here from Lamorinda with Zim, Means, and Marie Crawl. But the ball has not really been at their feet for the past 5 minutes. Castillo now. A few options. She'll go wide. Trying to get the ball back. And once again, Marie Crawl trying to Meg Wong. The Megs aren't working. Young. Castillo flicking it on. Here's Means on the turn, and it does seem that Lamorinda feels a little deflated right now. The team that's had the attacking opportunities, or at least the most of them, they don't seem to have the confidence to finish this game. Hopefully I'm wrong. Means now giving the ball away in a hard tackle. That should inject some energy into this squad to finish this game. Lamorinda shifting over, trying everything to not let the Nighthawks out of this half. A long throw. And that should be Lamorinda throwing now. Read well there from Samia Adam. She'll just go long. Torres eager to get the ball back into play, but a bit of a squibbed kick. Castillo's all over it. And now's the time to just put it up. Marie Crawl goes middle. Lau smothers it. Seconds continue to tick by. Smart play there from Mikel Lau, forcing Lamorinda to come at her as she puts the ball on the ground, and now Lamorinda throwing. Young. Means off the crossbar, still in play. Here's Marie Kroll trying to get that turn. Young putting it back into the box, and the Nighthawks just throwing their bodies around trying to get it out of the way, and that could have been that opportunity for Lamorinda to equalize. And it was. The final whistle blows. The Nighthawks skate by out of that one. Nighthawks take this 1-0. An incredible win. These two teams, as I mentioned, certainly know each other well. And this being the first time that the Nighthawks have beat Lamorinda in the WPSL, they take this 1-0. And the Nighthawks finish the regular season in third place, 20 points, just 1 point below Cal Storm and FC Davis, and they are headed to Spokane, Washington for regional playoffs. That is right, everybody. We're going to throw the QR code up on the screen one more time. Donate if you can. Anything helps. San Francisco Nighthawks with an incredible season. They end the regular season with a record of 6 wins, 2 draws, and just 1 loss. And they end it here at home versus Lamorinda. Incredible fight from both of these teams. A physical battle, a tactical battle, ever evolving throughout the game. The Nighthawks really able to pull this out on that goal from Keely Roy just before the end of the first half. And a final shout out and thank you, of course, to all of the San Francisco Nighthawks sponsors and the Elks Club. They are the biggest suppliers of scholastic scholarships in the U.S., huge supporters of the San Francisco Nighthawks, and they are greatly appreciated. And finally, for Kevin Allison on camera, I've been Sara Ach. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to not only this game, but the Nighthawks season. This is it for us. All the other games up in Spokane will be broadcast from elsewhere. So thank you very much for tuning in. And, of course, tune in to other games broadcast from Kelvin and Allison here at DNF_ADV Sports on YouTube, and find him on Instagram at DNF_ADV. Thank you, everybody, once again for tuning in. We'll see you next summer for the WPSL.